What's going on, guys? Asian Guy here, bringing you a guide on how to defeat Colosseum Gyukimaru, the 50 stamina, which has been released on Japan alongside Legend Smoker and Legend Sugar. Now, surprise, surprise, Legend Sugar is going to be the friend captain we're going to be using with the free-to-play team in order to take down this Colosseum. She hard counters literally everything on the final boss stage for this Colosseum. Legend Smoker, on the other hand, though, isn't even one of the better legends to use for this Colosseum. There are better legends like Sabo Koala. You've also got Legend Carrot, who's really good for this Colosseum. You also have, of course, Shanks Crew and Luffy Law. Surprise, surprise. You even have V3 Katakuri and the new Legend Blackbeard teams that can work on this Colosseum, although the latter ones there I would not say are really optimal. I will showcase very quickly here, guys, on screen a bunch of different screenshots of different teams that you can just literally copy and paste. As long as you have the stage information, it's pretty straightforward what you have to do with those teams. And of course, I don't have all the units on those teams necessarily, so I won't be able to showcase all of those teams. But hopefully those screenshots do help in guiding you on which units you can be using. Now, for this free-to-play team, if you are going to be copying it, we are going to be using Raid Stampede Bullet. I don't know why I always call it Stampede Bullet, because Bullet only exists in Stampede, but we're going to be using Raid Bullet, who is a permanent raid. You should farm him up on Japan. Not too difficult to do. We even have Raid Enel, guys. Now, Raid Enel can be replaced by any attack booster, and we've also got Stampede Fujitora there, who's not available right now on Japan, but he can be replaced by any block or manipulator. Now, there are several units that can give an attack boost and also block or manipulation, namely V2 Shanks or the World Clash Akainu comes to mind, that can actually replace both Enel and the Fujitora, giving you a lot more space for an extra beat stick or an extra unit in your team. And then we also had the Kuma that came alongside the Sugar and the Smoker that basically deals with stage 4 here. So that's what you need him for. And then we have V2 Raid Dofi. Now, V2 Raid Dofi is not replaceable on this team because he simply extends all the attack and all boosting buffs that we're going to be using on stage 4 for this team. Of course, this team is very, very suboptimal because our captain here is a 3 times attack boost and a 3.25 times for himself. And obviously, you can get a lot more damage elsewhere. Tenguyama Hitetsu, he has 5.8 million HP and he will deal 9,320 attack every 2 turns. His preemptive is going to cut your HP by 40% and he puts up poison and delay immunity for 99 turns. He increases his own defense to 1.5 million and he will change your left side orbs into badly matching. He will seal all the orbs on the right hand side column by 3 turns and left side badly matching orbs will be 3 turns as well, and he'll lock those orbs for 1 turn as well. On his second turn, he will have threshold damage reduction for 2 turns, and then under 20% HP does absolutely nothing. As you guys can see here, you can very, very, very much easily stall a long time on this stage 3. We're going to speed this part of the video up because what I'm doing right now is using a bunch of very powerful characters from the One Piece universe to beat down an old man who's protecting a little girl using his mask and angel wings and sword. So let's skip over that and move on to stage 4, which is going to be Zorojiro. He has 10.4 million HP and 12,500 attack. He will preemptively lock your chain to 1.1 times for 3 turns, poison delay immunity debuff protector for 99 turns, and he will change all orbs to block orbs as well. And on top of that, he will special silence your team for 3 turns. This is where Kuma comes in. He will reduce the special silence and he will also remove that chain lock. If you use, for example, a Lucy special, for example, in the sense of where you have to tap 3 or 4 or 5 perfects to unlock the buff for the following turn, he's going to interrupt that. So do not use tap timing perfect where you have to hit X amounts of perfects to unlock the following turn buff, because you will get punished for that. As you guys can see here, I'm popping basically all my specials except for Douglas Bullet. We're using the super typing of Sugar to get an orb boost, and we're going to extend Raid Enel and Sugar's orb boost. So Raid Enel's attack boost and Sugar's orb boost with the V2 Raid Dofi here that will carry on into the boss stage. And then we have the Fujitora, who does also give us the chain lock here. So chain lock on top of the color affinity for 40 cost units and under is going to give us enough damage along with the attack and orb boost to take out Zorojiro. In fact, we have way more than enough damage there. We still had Sugar to hit perfects with there as well. And then moving on to the final stage, it's going to be Gyukimaru himself. Now, Gyukimaru is no slouch. He has 36.4 million HP and he will deal just under 15,000 attack every single turn. He will change himself to a strength type. He will put normal attack only debuff on you guys and he will have debuff immunity for himself. He has a 1-turn dex or barrier. He will bind the middle row units by 5 turns, going down to 2 turns if you have level 3 bind anti-bind sockets. He will paralyze the lower row units by 3 turns as well, and he will limit you to 5 taps. Whether they're perfects, goods, greats, or even misses, you can only use 5 characters to tap. But this is where Sugar basically hard counters everything, because Sugar's toy soldiers don't count as taps. They count as like auto taps. These weird things don't really count as taps. And on top of that, Sugar's toy soldiers do bypass and they ignore paralysis on themselves and bind on themselves, very similarly to V1 Big Mom when she's a captain. So that is something very, very cool. But Sugar will basically hard counter, and you don't even need to hit a perfect with Sugar. If you just tap normally, she's going to hit a perfect regardless. You can't hit any perfects after this anyway. So Sugar's toy soldiers will follow up, all hitting the equivalent of a perfect here with the plus 0.7 chain boost. As you guys can see there, the chain is going up very, very, very quickly, and then that's a big amount of damage. A lot of damage there, so very, very, very nice indeed. Also, don't get him under 20% HP because you're gonna die. Let's move on to the next team. Alrighty guys, this is the team I've been using to farm. It is a somewhat pay-to-win team. We have got Legend Shanks crew, we've got the V2 Raid Dofi again, we've got Legend Pudding alongside Legend Sanji, and we've got that Kuma that is specifically designed for this Colosseum, as well as Legend Sugar. So, I thought, you know what? I like the Zunisha, makes perfects easier to hit, and also Legend Pudding, let's be real, ever since she got released, has seen absolutely no gameplay at all until maybe the most recent Forest, which was Legend Kid. And again, there are plenty of different units you can use instead of her, but she is a good option. For once, she is actually one of the better options to have, and in this Colosseum, she's actually one of the top tier subs to have. I know Toski released a video saying that she was overrated. I also co-sign that, because on release, I myself personally overrated her so much, thinking that, oh my god, she's like the best sub in the game, just look at her special. But for her to be the best sub in the game, we needed content where there are lots of punishing, very niche occasions of interrupts and block orbs and cooldown and silence and all of this stuff, except that just never happened. I mean, she does so many different things, but for her to be useful, all those different things really need to happen. So Legend Pudding is actually very, very good for this Colosseum Gyukimaru. But of course, we are going to be using a Legend Pudding team, Legend Sugar team, with Legend Pudding, as well as Osoba Mask as well. So I'm going to skip over the very boring parts of the stalling, and I will see you in a moment at the end of stage 3. Bye-bye. That was cringe, but I'll see you in a moment. Okay, after that cringe transition, we are on stage 4. Now, as a side note, I think you can go into stage 3 with the V2 Raid Dofi at around the 8-turn cooldown to go, which is very, very nice, because of course on stage 3 we have to stall a very, very long time on Tenguyama Hitetsu, I believe that's his name, and Shanks crew here does indeed remove silence. Now this stage is actually very, very important in the order of which you use your specials. So the very first special we are going to be using is going to be this Osoba Mask. So Legend Osoba Mask is going to change all our orbs and give us the attack boost. We're then going to follow that up with the Kuma, who is going to remove that chain lock, and then we can use Shanks crew, which is going to be very, very nice as well. So let's use the Shanks crew there. Very nice. And then we're also going to use this, which should give us the orb boost. And then we're going to do this again with the V2 Dofi. So V2 Dofi does mess up our orbs significantly there, but that's okay, because Osoba Mask Limit Break, or his sailor ability rather, gives him a lot of cooldown reduction, which is very, very, very nice. So we're going to get the 2.5 times attack boost again. Bear in mind, guys, you have to do it in this order, because as you saw there, we had a 3 times or 3 turns of 1.75 times attack boost, which got replaced with only 1 turn of 2.5 times attack boost. Now this is where Pudding comes in pretty huge. She is going to indeed copy that buff over, and I actually don't think we do need to do all of this overkill, but just to be on the safe side, it doesn't hurt. And then after this, we can just tap away just like this, boom, and then into the Kuma, and it's like, what, 25 million? It's 25 million damage. It's 25 million damage. Would have been a lot more if we attacked with Sugar and Osoba Mask and the Shanks crew as well. Also keep in mind that you do want to have the Shanks crew on the quick version when you go into that room. If you need to switch them, do so after using Osoba Mask. Please keep that in mind as well. And you also need to have both Osoba Mask, well, you don't need to have Osoba Mask necessarily at the bottom, but if you do mess up with the attack boost and carrying it over into this room, you can actually just pop Sugar and not change Osoba Mask into a toy soldier, and then you can pop Osoba Mask again to get yourself a full board of guaranteed orbs, etc, etc. But we are going to use Pudding here, and Pudding is going to give us, I always get Pudding and Sugar mixed up, but this time around we got it right. We are going to put the Pudding out, who is going to give us that 1.75 times, or 2.5 times rather, upgraded attack boost. As you guys can see, Osoba Mask is actually ready again, and then we can use Pudding here, who's going to give us the boom, 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 turn every one of these people into toy soldiers. And as you guys can see, that's a lot of attack stat, which is very nice. And as you one-tap with Pudding, oh, Sugar, I said it, guys, I keep getting it mixed up. All the perfects will automatically hit for you. You don't have to hit a perfect with Legend Sugar, and then you should be a-okay. Now, the order this goes in is in the exact same order as auto mode. Now, auto mode will go in right column to left column. So after you hit with Sugar, from right column upwards to downwards, it's going to go from top to bottom, and then it's going to move over to the left side, which is why you want to have your lower cost quick units on the left hand side, because they're going to be later in the chain. But of course, with the Shanks crew, you are going to have the 3.5 times chain lock anyway. I wasn't actually paying attention there, but I believe you should have that chain lock anyway. If the chain lock doesn't work for the toy soldiers, doesn't matter, because they get that 0.7 chain boost there regardless of that anyway. So either way, it's absolutely a-okay. Shanks crew is basically there to remove the silence. On top of removing the silence, he's also there as a 4.5 times attack booster. Way tankier captain, way easier to get through the prior stages. And yes, that is the team. Use that with a friend, Captain Sugar, or guest Captain Sugar. Zunisha ship not necessary, it's just there for an extra bonus. And overall, very, very good team. I highly, highly recommend it. You can replace Pudding with someone else. I think even you could probably put in Komurasaki over Osoba Mask, and then use V1 6+ Aokiji to extend those buffs into 3 turns rather than having that Dofi there, and you can bring an orb locker somewhere else. So I do believe that would work as well. And you could also use Perispero Support, who locks Cerebral's orbs, and you have a lot of Cerebral units on your team. As you saw there, we didn't even tap with all the units on our team, and we had more than enough damage. We had 2 people left to attack. So yeah, this team is pretty dang solid. Let's move on to the next one. See you in a bit. Alrighty, so next up we have got this Cerebral team minus the Magellan and Hannibal. Everyone else on this team is Cerebral, so we are going to be abusing the Zunisha ship, because the final stage does make perfects harder to hit. If you don't have the Zunisha ship, you can also use the Merry-Go, which is the second ship you get in the game. Very, very easy to max out. Everyone should have that fully maxed out. We are going to be having a Legend Shanks crew friend captain. Mine is going to be Limit Broken Plus here. My friend captain here with 2,345 attack, which is very nice, but that is not going to be necessary at all. What is necessary though is that on stage 4, you want to make sure when you're going into stage 4 that your Shanks crew is on the Psy version, so you can switch them out later into the quick version and then go ahead and burst and get yourself at least 2 guaranteed orbs. I'll show you that in a moment. And then you also need to have this Corazon support. Corazon support is absolutely essential for this team. This is probably one of the stronger teams to use. It's very, very easy to hit the perfects here and also have all the damage done. This 6+ law is necessary to remove the Dex orb barrier on the final stage. And of course, V2 Dofi, Magellan and Hannibal raid boss, and also the new raid Kuma, or the new event Kuma, are the other units on here alongside Legend Komurasaki. Very, very easy team. If you have the units, congratulations, because this team is very straightforward, very easy to stall and very easy to heal up thanks to Komurasaki. And you got Shanks as well, giving you the extra damage boost. Now again, I know Magellan does not have an attack boost, but doesn't really matter. When I say attack boost, I mean he doesn't have a ship boost, but it doesn't really matter because we've got Shanks crew who can essentially make up for it with the 1.5 times boost. Now I will see you towards the end of stage 3, where I have some extra comments to add just to remind you guys what not to do on this, but I will cut out the boring stalling and I will see you in a moment. So guys, before you kill Tenguyama Hitetsu, you want to make sure that your Shanks crew is on Shanks. You want to make sure he's on the Sai variant of the dual unit, because on the following turn you do want to switch them over into the quick unit, and you want to do that because you need to guarantee yourself at least an orb on both Law and also on Komurasaki. It would actually be better if I had Kuma in the position where Law is, but it shouldn't matter too much at the end of the day. Make sure that your Magellan and Hannibal is also on the quick variant, so it's on Hannibal there. It doesn't matter too much about that, but it does help in bursting on this stage. Now, I've messed up here and I don't actually have the attack boost for switching, but I should still have the damage to actually take out Tenguyama Hitetsu here. So hopefully we do have that damage. Maybe we don't, but it's okay. We can just take another turn to actually kill him. But we should have the damage here. And yeah, that's absolutely a-okay. So even if you mess up your switching, you can stall many turns. Tenguyama does absolutely nothing under 20% HP. So you can take your time. As you guys can see, I still have 27,000 HP. Could have stalled like another 4, 5, 6 turns on there. So very easy stuff. We got Shanks crew removing all of the silence. So first thing is first, what are we going to do here? We do not want to switch Shanks crew first. That is the #1 mistake that you can make. You want to use Kuma first, get rid of that chain lock, and then you want to use Komurasaki. This is very important. Make sure you use Komurasaki before Shanks crew. Otherwise, you are not going to get the 2x attack boost. Then you can switch Shanks crew. But before you do that, before I make this fatal error live on video, you want to get rid of the block orbs. And to get rid of the block orbs, you want to use Dofi. And make sure you use Dofi right after Komurasaki. So the order of your specials is very important. As you guys can see there, Dofi didn't actually give me any great orbs here, which is unfortunate. But if we switch this out, it's absolutely a-okay now, because now we have 4 matching or beneficial orbs here. So that's very nice. The Shanks crew did switch their negative orb into a beneficial orb, because when he became a quick unit, Komurasaki's captain ability now boosts that in orb. However, the main thing here is that we got the guaranteed orbs on the Komurasaki and the Law, and then we can pop the Shanks crew, and it's a chain lock, so it doesn't matter what attack order you go in. As long as you hit all your perfects, you should still be dealing over 2 million damage from the Shanks crew captain ability. But yeah, let's go ahead, hit those perfects. 1, 2, and as you guys can see there, that's it. We just need the Komurasaki, and we also need the Law's orbs. That's all you need to be able to kill stage 4. And then on the final stage, this is where Corazon support comes in clutch, because we are going to get it bound, and we're also going to have paralysis done. So Corazon is going to remove the bind. You can also use, if you don't have Legend Corazon support, I believe you can use the new support Corazon that came out. If I'm not mistaken, that was bind and attack down. Only 30 gems. I highly recommend going for him because he's very useful. You can use that support Corazon here as well. So first thing is first, we are going to remove his Dex Orb barrier. Very nice. That leaves him very much exposed. And then we're going to use Magellan and Hannibal to get us a full board of matching orbs, as well as giving us the color affinity. Now Magellan and Hannibal you should attack with first, so because you know he's not going to get the perfect buff from Zunisha. It's okay to hit a great with Magellan and Hannibal. You can hit greats with the other units as well, maybe 1 or 2 other units. We'll find out here, but remember, do not tap on Dofi because you only have 5 taps to get the kill here. So we'll start with Magellan and Hannibal. Hopefully we don't miss, because if we miss, that's going to be a death. Try and go for a great / perfect, and then you should be absolutely a-okay. So 1, that's another perfect, 2, that's another perfect, Zunisha coming through, and 3, and we still have Komurasaki's orb left. So yeah, you can probably hit 2 greats there and you're absolutely a-okay. Maybe even 3 greats there. Very powerful team. That is Legend Shanks crew, guys. The Legend Shanks crew really doing a lot of heavy lifting there. That 3.5 times chain lock, 4.5 times universal tap boost, and the special silence removal. Very nice. Tanky captain as well. There you go. Those are the teams that I've personally been using. Hopefully that has been helpful to you guys. If you haven't got any of those units, I will be leaving up more images of some different teams that you can be using and other people have been using throughout the OPTC community. I highly recommend checking out the OPTC subreddit if you are looking for more teams that you can be using. There's Legend Carrot on there, Sabo and Koala, etc, even Blackbeard and Katakuri V3. So do go ahead and check that out. I will leave the link to the mega thread in the description down below, where you can see all the different teams on there. But yeah, I'll leave some screenshots as well of different teams you can use. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and have a wonderful day. Asian Guide OPTC out. Bye bye.